Friends, if you want to watch super hit movie Ant-Man and the Wasp in English, then you must like this video. If you're visiting our channel for the first time, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Friends, in today's video, the movie we're going to talk about is called Ant-Man and the Wasp. We will talk about what this movie is and where you can watch it, all the interesting facts about this movie in today's video. I'm going to tell you, I am also going to give you all the information on which OT platform or on which satellite channel you will get to watch this movie. Also, we'll talk in detail about the technical department, music department, pre-production, filming, post-production, budget, box office collection of this film. We will also talk about the story of this film, and I will also give you a small review of the story of this film. Apart from this, we will discuss about the facts of this film's storyline, star cast, actors' performance in the film, and which character has played which role. That's why I request you friends to watch this video till the ends. So we'll start the video. Ant-Man and the Wasp. He's a 28 American superhero film based on Marvel Comics, featuring the characters Scott Lang, Ant-Man, and Hope Pym, Wasp. Produced by Marvel Studios and distributed by Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures, it is the sequel to Ant-Man 2015 and the 20th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU. The film was directed by Peyton Reed and written by the writing teams of Chris McKenna and Eric Sommers, and Paul Rudd, Andrew Barrer, and Gabriel Ferrari. It stars Rudd as Lang and Evangeline Lilly as Hope Van, alongside Michael Peña, Walton Goggins, Hannah John Kamen, David Dastmalchian, Tip T.I. Harris, Judy Greer, Bobby Cannavale, Randall Park, Abby Ryder Fortson, Michelle Pfeiffer, Lawrence Fishburne, and Michael Douglas. In the film, the titular pair work with Hank Pym Douglas to retrieve Janet Van Dyne Pfeiffer from the quantum realm. Talks for a sequel to Ant-Man began shortly after that film was released. Ant-Man and the Wasp was officially announced in October 2015, with Rudd and Lilly returning to reprise their roles. A month later, Ant-Man director Reed was officially set to return. He had joined the first film later in its production and was excited to develop this one from the beginning. He also looked forward to introducing Hope Van Dyne as the Wasp in this film, and insisted on treating Lang and her as equals. Filming took place from August to November 2017 at Pinewood Atlanta Studios in Fayette County, Georgia, as well as Metro Atlanta, San Francisco, Savannah, Georgia, and Hawaii. Ant-Man and the Wasp had its world premiere in Hollywood, Los Angeles, on June 25, 2018, and was released in the United States on July 6, 2018, as part of Phase 3 of the MCU. The film was a critical and commercial success, receiving praise for its performances, particularly those of Rudd and Lilly, humor, and levity, and grossing over $622 million worldwide. A sequel, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, was released in February 2023. Plot: 2 years after Scott Lang was placed under house arrest due to his involvement with the Avengers, in violation of the Sokovia Accords, Hank Pym and his daughter Hope Van Dyne briefly managed to open a tunnel to the quantum realm. They believe Pym's wife Janet Van Dyne might be trapped there after shrinking to subatomic levels in 1987. When he had previously visited the quantum realm, Lang had unknowingly become quantumly entangled with Janet, and now he receives an apparent message from her. With only days left of house arrest, Lang contacts Pym about Janet, despite the strained relationship they have because of Lang's actions with the Avengers. Hope and Pym kidnap Lang, leaving a large ant with Lang's ankle monitor on as a decoy so as not to arouse the suspicions of FBI agent Jimmy Woo. Believing the message from Janet is confirmation that she is alive, the trio work to build a stable quantum tunnel so they can take a vehicle to the quantum realm and retrieve her. They arrange to buy a part needed for the tunnel from black market dealer Sonny Birch, but Birch realizes the potential profit to be made from Pym's research and double-crosses them. Donning the Wasp outfit, Hope fights off Birch and his men until she is attacked by a quantumly unstable masked woman. Lang tries to help fight off the ghost, but the woman escapes with Pym's lab, which has been shrunk down to the size of a suitcase. Pym reluctantly takes Hope and Lang to visit his estranged former partner Bill Foster, who gives them a way to locate the lab. After they find it, the ghost captures the trio and reveals herself to be Ava Starr. Her father, Elias, was another of Pym's former partners. Elias and his wife died during an experiment that caused Ava's unstable state. Foster enters and reveals that Ava is dying and in constant pain as a result of her condition. They plan to cure her using Janet's quantum energy. Believing that this will kill Janet, Pym refuses to help them and escapes with Hope, Lang, and the lab. Opening a stable version of the tunnel, Pym, Hope, and Lang are able to contact Janet, who gives them a precise location to find her, but warns that they only have 2 hours before the unstable nature of the quantum realm separates them for a century. Using a truth serum, Birch learns the trio's location from Lang's business partners Louis, Dave, and Kurt, and informs a contact at the FBI. Louis warns Lang, who rushes home before Wu can see that he is violating his house arrest. Pym and Hope are arrested by the FBI, allowing Ava to take the lab. Lang is soon able to help Pym and Hope escape custody, and they find the lab. Lang and Hope distract Ava while Pym enters the quantum realm to retrieve Janet, whom he finds alive. Meanwhile, Lang and Hope are confronted by Birch and his men, and following a lengthy chase across San Francisco, Ava regains control of the lab, allowing her to begin taking Janet's energy by force. Louis, Dave, and Kurt incapacitate Birch and his men so that Lang and Hope can stop Ava. Pym and Janet return safely from the quantum realm, and Janet voluntarily gives some of her energy to Ava to temporarily stabilize her. Lang returns home once again, in time for a now suspicious Wu to release him at the end of his house arrest. Ava and Foster go into hiding, while Birch and his men are arrested and confess due to being injected with Birch's truth serum. In a mid-credits scene, Pym, Hope, and Janet send Lang into the quantum realm to harvest quantum energy in a plan to help Ava remain stable. Before they can retrieve Lang, the other 3 turn to dust. Cast Paul Rudd as Scott Lang, Ant-Man, a former petty criminal who acquired a suit that allows him to shrink or grow in scale while also increasing in strength. Following the events of Captain America Civil War 2016, in which Lang escapes from the Raft prison, director Peyton Reed said that he's a fugitive in most of the first Ant-Man 2015 movie. He's just a bigger fugitive now. Rudd was interested in Lang being a regular person rather than innately heroic or super, and to be driven by his desire to be a responsible parent. Evangeline Lilly as Hope Van Dyne, Wasp, the daughter of Hank Pym and Janet Van Dyne, who has handed down a similar suit and the Wasp mantle from her mother. The writers were excited to be able to give the character a proper introduction as the Wasp, showing her power set, how she fights, and what are the injustices that matter to her. Lilly felt the character receives incredible satisfaction from becoming the Wasp, something that she has been waiting for her whole life, which is essentially an affirmation from her father. Her relationship with Lang is more complicated than in the first film and includes anger towards his actions during Captain America Civil War. Lilly felt it was important that Hope be an extremely empathetic and compassionate person, and that she should always push for feminine qualities to be apparent when she is dealing with situations. In her fight sequences, Lilly wanted to move away from the more masculine Muay Thai and MMA style of fighting that she had learned for the first film, noting that Hope moves differently from a man, so her fights should have elegance, grace, and femininity. With a signature style young girls could enjoy and emulate. Lilly worked with the writers to help ensure that Hope was able to represent a modern woman without becoming the stereotype of a motherly figure. Madeline McGraw portrays a young Hope Van Dyne. Michael Peña as Luis, Lang's former cellmate and a member of his ex-con security crew. There was less opportunity for Peña to improvise compared to the first film, where he and Rudd were still developing the character during filming. The creative team wanted to feature another scene of Luis riffing a long story as he did in the first film, but did not want to repeat themselves. They were able to take a different approach by giving the character truth serum in a scene for this film. Walton Goggins as Sonny Birch, a low-level criminal type who wants Pym's technology to sell on the black market. Hannah John Kamen as Ava Star Ghost, a woman with molecular instability who can phase through objects. She is only considered a villain because her attempts at survival clash with the hero's goals. The character is traditionally portrayed as male in the comics, but the creative team believed that the character's gender was irrelevant and felt that casting a woman would be more interesting. 19. It also allowed them to continue the fathers and daughters theme that embraced other characters in the film. John Kamen enjoyed the blank slate situation, which allowed her to make the character her own. Producer Stephen Broussard said that they wanted to cast a lesser-known actress to help maintain the mystery of the character. And John Kamen blew us away. Raylan Bratton portrays a young Ava Starr. David Dastmalchian as Kurt, a member of Lang's ex-con security crew. Dastmalchian stated that the character's last name is Gorster. Tip T.I. Harris as Dave, a member of Lang's ex-con security crew. Judy Greer as Maggie, Lang's ex-wife. Bobby Cannavale as Jim Paxton, a police officer, married to Lang's ex-wife Maggie. Randall Park as Jimmy Woo, an FBI agent and Lang's parole officer. Abby Ryder Fortson as Cassie, the daughter of Lang and Maggie. Michelle Pfeiffer as Janet Van Dyne, Pym's wife, Hope's mother, and the original Wasp, who is lost in the quantum realm. Pfeiffer was Reed's dream casting for the role when he was working on the first film, and he ensured that he received her input on the character. He noted that the character has spent 30 years in the quantum realm, so there is a question regarding how that has affected her. Producer Kevin Feige explained that the character ages over those 30 years, even though time works differently in the quantum realm, to avoid any sci-fi weirdness that could take away from the emotional reunions with Pym and Hope in the film. Michelle Pfeiffer was de-aged to portray young Janet Van Dyne, with Haley Lovett acting as a reference double. Lovett portrayed Janet in the first film, before Pfeiffer became involved with the franchise. Reed explained that Lovett had been cast for the first film because of her saucer-like Michelle Pfeiffer eyes. Lawrence Fishburne as Bill Foster, an old friend of Pym, who was once his assistant on Project Goliath. Fishburne approached Marvel about joining the MCU, pitching them a few ideas about whom he could portray, before Marvel offered him the role of Foster in this film. Fishburne had already played Perry White for the DC Extended Universe, but he said that he had always fantasized about being in an MCU film, admitting that he considers himself a Marvel guy. Reed likened the rivalry between Foster and Pym to that of Steve Jobs and Bill Gates, and wanted an actor who could go toe-to-toe with Michael Douglas. Lawrence Fishburne was de-aged to portray young Bill Foster, with Langston Fishburne, Lawrence's son, acting as a reference double. Michael Douglas as Hank Pym, an entomologist, physicist, and former S.H.I.E.L.D. agent who became the original Ant-Man after discovering the subatomic particles that make the transformation possible. Pym has grown a lot closer to his daughter Hope since the first film, and according to Feige, he has that joy of fatherhood in watching her become a superhero in her own right. Reed was attracted to the morally dubious decisions Pym sometimes makes. Douglas was de-aged to portray young Hank Pym, with Dax Griffin acting as a reference double, having done so for the first film as well. Additionally, Stan Lee, co-creator of the titular Heroes, has a cameo in the film as a man whose car is shrunk by accident. Michael Cerveris appears as Ava's father Elias Starr, while Ryan Steele plays his wife and Ava's mother Catherine Tim Heidecker, and Brian Husky appear in cameos as a whaleboat captain named Daniel Gubler and a teacher at Cassie's school, respectively. Sonny Birch's team of men includes Divian Ladwa as Uzman, Goran Kostic as Anatolov, and Rob Archer as Knox, while Sean Clier portrays Stoltz, Birch's FBI inside man and Jimmy Woo's subordinate. Tom Sharpling and John Wurster of The Best Show were planned to make brief appearances as Birch's SUV drivers, but their scene was ultimately cut. Production development. In June 2015, Ant-Man director Peyton Reed expressed interest in returning for a sequel or prequel to that film, saying that he had really fallen in love with these characters and felt there's a lot of story to tell with Hank Pym. A month later, Pym actor Michael Douglas said he was not signed for any additional films, but would look forward to more if it comes my way, and expressed the desire to have his wife Catherine Zeta-Jones cast as Janet Van Dyne for a potential follow-up. Evangeline Lilly, who played the daughter of Pym and Van Dyne, Hope Van Dyne, wanted to see Michelle Pfeiffer in the role. Producer Kevin Feige revealed that the studio had a super cool idea for the next Ant-Man film, and if audiences want it, we'll find a place to do it. Reed also mentioned that there had been talks of making a standalone adventure with Hank Pym as Ant-Man, possibly including the original opening to Ant-Man featuring Jordi Mollà, which was cut from the final film. Eric Eisenberg of Cinema Blend opined that a standalone adventure with Pym and the cut sequence would be a good candidate to revive the Marvel one-shot short film series. By the end of July, David Dastmalchian expressed interest in returning for a sequel as Kurt. In October 2015, Marvel Studios confirmed the sequel, titled Ant-Man and the Wasp, with a scheduled release date of July 6, 2018. Reed was in negotiations to direct the sequel by the end of the month, and announced his return in November, along with the confirmation of Paul Rudd and Lilly returning as Scott Lang, Ant-Man, and Hope Van Dyne, Wasp, respectively. Despite being offered the chance to direct sequels in the past, Reed had never done so out of a lack of interest, but was excited to work on Ant-Man and the Wasp because there was a lot more story to tell with these characters that I have a genuine affection and kind of protective feeling about. He was also able to build the sequel from the ground up, as he joined the first film late in the process, following the departure of original writer and director Edgar Wright, and wanted to explore elements that he had set up in the first film. He first began work on an outline for the sequel, which he thought could be weird, unique, and different now that the character's origins had been established. On being the first MCU film to have a female character in the title with the Wasp, Reed called it organic, and noted the Wasp's final line in Ant-Man, "It's about damn time," as very much about her specific character and arc in that movie, but it is absolutely about a larger thing. It's about damn time. We're going to have a fully realized, very, very complicated hero in the next movie who happens to be a woman. Reed would push to ensure the Wasp received equal publicity and merchandise for the film, and wanted to explore the backstory of Janet Van Dyne as well. He had definite ideas of who should portray that character. Reed said the alternate title Wasp and the Ant-Man was briefly considered, but was not chosen due to fan expectation given the comics' history of the phrase Ant-Man and the Wasp. That month, Adam McKay, one of the writers of Ant-Man, expressed interest in returning to write the film, and Douglas confirmed that he was in talks to return as well. Reed stated in early December that the film may call back to the heist film genre and tone of Ant-Man, but that Ant-Man and the Wasp would have an entirely different genre template. He hoped to incorporate additional flashback sequences in the film, as well as explore Pym's various identities from the comics and his psychology. Reed also said he was excited about exploring and discovering the film version of the Ant-Man and Wasp relationship that is a romantic partnership and a heroic partnership in the comics, a different dynamic than we've seen in the rest of the MCU, an actual partnership. Additionally, Reed mentioned that pre-production would probably start in October 2016, with filming scheduled for early 2017. Production writers for the first film, Gabriel Ferrari and Andrew Barrere, signed on to write the script along with Rudd, with writing starting in earnest in January 2016. The next month, McKay stated that he would be involved with the film in some capacity. By April, the four writers and Reed had been holed up in a room, brainstorming the story, with Reed promising that it would have stuff in it that you've never ever seen in a movie before. Feige added that they wanted to stay true to what made Ant-Man so unique and different, and teased the potential of seeing the Giant Man version of Lang that had been introduced in Captain America: Civil War, 2016. Despite being intimately involved in the writing and the development of the script, Reed did not take or receive a writing credit on the film. In June 2016, Reed said that for inspiration from the comics, he had been looking at early Avengers stuff and all the way up to the Nick Spencer stuff now, and was focusing on iconic images that could be replicated in the film over story beats from the comics. He added that there was definitely a chance for Michael Peña, Tip T.I. Harris, and Dastmalchian to reprise their respective roles as Luis, Dave, and Kurt from the first film. At San Diego Comic-Con 2016, Feige stated that Reed and Rudd were still working on the script and that filming was now expected to begin in June 2017. Rudd elaborated that they had turned in a treatment, but it's so preliminary. We'll see. We have an idea of what it might look like, but it could change a lot from where we're at now. The next month, Peña was confirmed to be returning as Luis, while filming was revealed to be taking place in Atlanta, Georgia. In early October, an initial script had been completed for the film that was awaiting approval from Marvel. Reed later revealed that early drafts of the script included a cameo appearance from Captain America, appearing during Luis's flashback sequences. He was recapping Lang's involvement in the airport battle in Civil War. However, the writers chose to remove the appearance in the final script since the events of Civil War were already referenced frequently in the film, and this instance didn't feel organic to the story. Pre-production. At the start of November 2016, Reed said that the film's production would transition from the writing phase to official prep that month, beginning with visual development. Reed reiterated his excitement for introducing the Wasp and really designing her look, the way she moves, the power set, and figuring out sort of who Hope Van Dyne is as a hero. Reed was inspired by the films After Hours, 1985, Midnight Run, 1988, and What's Up, Doc? 1972, for the look and feel of Ant-Man and the Wasp. While the first film was more of a heist film, Reed described this as part action film, part romantic comedy, and was inspired by the works of Elmore Leonard, where there are villains, but we also have antagonists, and we have these roadblocks to our heroes getting to where they need to be. He also stated his disappointment in the Giant Man introduction happening in Civil War, rather than an Ant-Man film, but noted that the appearance provided character development opportunities between Lang, Pym, and Van Dyne, since Pym is very clear in the first movie about how he feels about Stark and how he feels about the Avengers, and being very protective of this technology that he has. And so Reed thought Pym would be pissed, and Van Dyne would feel betrayed, which was Reed's in for those characters' starting dynamics. Reed added that he spends a lot of time talking with the other writers and directors of MCU films, and that he and the writers on this film wished to maintain our little Ant-Man corner of the universe, because it's a whole different vibe tonally. Quantum physicist Spiridon Mikolakis from the Institute for Quantum Information and Matter at the California Institute of Technology returned to consult on the film after doing the same on Ant-Man, and explained the science behind getting extremely small to the filmmakers. Mikolakis described the subatomic realm as a place of infinite possibility, an alternative universe where the laws of physics and forces of nature as we know them haven't crystallized, and suggested it should be represented in the film by beautiful colors changing constantly to reflect transience. In February 2017, Douglas confirmed that he would reprise his role as Hank Pym in the film. During the Hollywood premiere of Guardians of the Galaxy Vol. 2 in April, Dastmalchian confirmed his return as Kurt, and a month later, Harris confirmed his return as Dave as well. Through that May, Marvel was meeting with several actresses for a key role in the sequel, with Hannah John Kamen cast in the part at the beginning of June. The following month, Randall Park joined the cast as Jimmy Woo, 28, and Walton Goggins was cast in an undisclosed role, 68. At San Diego Comic-Con 2017, Park's casting was confirmed. John Kamen and Goggins' roles were revealed to be Ghost and Sonny Birch, respectively, and the casting of Pfeiffer as Janet Van Dyne and Lawrence Fishburne as Bill Foster was announced. Judy Greer was confirmed to be reprising her role as Maggie from the previous film the following week. Louise Frogley served as costume designer on the film after doing so for Marvel's Spider-Man Homecoming, 2017, and worked with Ivo Coveney to create the superhero suits for the film. Based on designs by Andy Park, the suits are updated for the film from the 1960s-inspired designs used in the first Ant-Man to more modern designs. The Wasp suit included practical wings, which were replaced with digital wings for when they are expanded and ready for fly. Box office Ant-Man and the Wasp grossed $260.6 million in the United States and Canada and $406 million in other territories for a worldwide total of $622.7 million. Following its opening, Deadline Hollywood estimated the film would turn a net profit of around $100 million. It became the 11th highest-grossing film of 2018. Ant-Man and the Wasp earned $33.8 million on its opening day in the United States and Canada, including $11.5 million from Thursday night previews and a total opening weekend of $75.8 million. This was a 33% improvement over the first film's debut of $57.2 million. Its opening included $6 million from IMAX screens. In its second weekend, the film earned $28.8 million, coming in second behind Hotel Transylvania 3: Summer Vacation, and in its third weekend grossed $16.1 million, coming in fourth. The film placed sixth in its fourth weekend, seventh in its fifth weekend, and 10th in its sixth weekend. Outside the United States and Canada, the film earned $85 million from 41 markets, where it opened number 1 in all except New Zealand. Its South Korea opening was $20.9 million, which included previews. The $15.5 million opening from the market without previews was the second best opening of 2018 behind Avengers: Infinity War. In its second weekend, playing in 44 markets, it remained number 1 in Australia, Hong Kong, South Korea, and Singapore. The film opened in France in its third weekend, earning $4.1 million, and opened in Germany in its fourth, where it was number 1 and earned $2.8 million, including previews. The next weekend saw Ant-Man and the Wasp open at number 1, when including previews, in the United Kingdom, where it earned $6.5 million, and 2 weeks later, Italy opened number 1 with $2.7 million, including previews. In its eighth weekend, the film's $68 million opening in China was the fourth best MCU opening in China and the third highest Hollywood film opening of 2018. $7.2 million was from IMAX, which was the best August IMAX opening in China. The film opened in Japan the next weekend, earning $3.7 million, which was the top Western film for the weekend. As of September 9, 2018, the film's largest markets were China, $170.5 million, South Korea, $42.4 million, and the United Kingdom, $21.5 million. Music. Main article, Ant-Man and the Wasp, soundtrack. In June 2017, Reed confirmed that Christoph Beck, who composed the score for Ant-Man, would return for Ant-Man and the Wasp. Beck reprised his main theme from Ant-Man, and also wrote a new one for Wasp that he wanted to be high energy and show that she is more certain of her abilities than Lang. When choosing between these themes for specific scenes throughout the film, Beck tried to choose the Wasp theme more often so there would be enough newness in the score to feel like it's going new places and isn't just some retread. Hollywood Records and Marvel Music released the soundtrack album digitally on July 6, 2018. Marketing concept art and pre-CGI video for the film was shown at the 2017 San Diego Comic-Con. In January 2018, Hyundai Motor America announced that the 2019 Hyundai Veloster would play a significant role in the film, with other Hyundai vehicles also appearing. The first trailer for the film was released on January 30, 2018, on Good Morning America, and used the guitar riff from Adam and the Ants' Invasion. David Betancourt of The Washington Post called the release the day after the widely praised Black Panther premiere a smart move. With Black Panther and Avengers: Infinity War also releasing in 2018, it can be easy to forget that, hey, there is an Ant-Man sequel coming this year. So Marvel Studios giving us a quick reminder with this trailer release is logical. Tracy Brown, writing for the Los Angeles Times, praised how the trailer prominently featured Lilly's Van Dyne showing he was always meant to be a superhero. Distributed by Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures. Release dates June 25, 2008 in El Capitan Theater, July 6, 2008 in United States, running time 108 minutes, country United States, language English, budget $130 to $195 million, box office $22.7 million. So guys, this is their view of Ant-Man and the Wasp movie and some information about it. How do you like today's video? Please let us know by commenting, and if you like this video, please like it, share it, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.